Welcome back. I bought this tractor. It's don't let the sticker fool you. It is a 4100, or at least the. I'll have to double check with some serial numbers on the tractor itself, like on the actual motor. 'Cause at least this side of the fender is from a 4100. This is the one with all the serial numbers and tractor number and all that. And this side says 4100. So I don't know when that was changed, or if it was changed, or what the deal is. I don't know much about these tractors, but it was a good deal, so I bought it. Anyway, I figured I'd take a video before I got too far in there. I'm going to start taking some stuff apart. Started sanding this one this morning before work, and a lot of the rust was just kind of washed on there with the rain over time, and the blue started to come back through, so that was pretty cool. What I'm going to do next is unbolt this side of the hood. I just took the stack off, and so now I can undo this side. I'll probably just take off the other side with it. Sand those up. That'll make it easier for this tin to sand up. And then we'll do another inspection on the motor. From what I can see, I just emptied these air filters. Not in great shape. Not actually as dirty as I thought they'd be, but still not in great shape. So, and the battery charged up. When I went and picked it up, I put it in the dump trailer, and I actually, no lights work, but put in dump trailer, I just let it stay running. And by the time I put it back in the shop, these lights, I noticed that these lights came on, and it started on its own. So I think the battery kind of charged itself with the alternator. I had this thing on it all day. On the trickle charge, I had it on 8 amp earlier, and it brought it up to like 13.9 instantly. And I figured by the time I got out of work, that would already be full a long time ago. So I set it on to 2 and let her really deep charge, and I'll check it in the morning. But hopefully I can get it pretty close in the morning. These big batteries do take a while. I had a couple of commercial batteries from that Dozer, and those took about a week apiece to charge up, but they're holding volts now, so that's pretty good. And maybe I'll well, if I didn't have to move this tractor in a couple days, I'd just take the battery out. I really don't want to put it back in. So start taking the hoods off, and we'll see what happens from there. But this will probably be a video, or a tractor video, where I'm just gonna do a lot of work without the camera going, so I can just crank it out and enjoy myself a little bit, and then I'll take a video later on and some progress update. So it's a couple days later, and got tractor pretty much all torn down of the body parts. Drain the oil, drain the hydraulic fluid, and this is one of the fenders. I'm just sanding up to clean up enough so we can repaint it. I keep telling myself this is just to make look better running, not a restoration. So there's a lot of things I'm just going to overlook. I'm just going to make it look a lot better than it was, but definitely not going to be perfect. That's okay with me. I'm not going to paint the motor or tranny or the rear end or anything. I'm probably going to paint the rollover protection bar just because the visible part's pretty easy. I'm going to paint what I can of the mounts for the fenders, but I'm not going to get too picky with getting in there and getting down and the whole thing. I really don't care that much. It would look better. I get that, but for the time I'll have into taking everything apart just to paint all that stuff, I really don't care that much. I just want to get it into the field so I can get it working and buy some implements for it. I'm tracking down some filters. I gotta find another one, or find the Wix filter that was on it, the actual part number, and go off that, because I got a Napa one yesterday, and it's the same one, coincidentally, the same one that goes on good old look out the window, the old Ferd up there, and it probably would thread on to work, but it's a lot taller. It's a lot taller of a filter, not kind of in between the Wix and that hydraulic filter, and I'm just worried about it sticking out past stuff and getting hit and all that. So I'm gonna try to find one of those short filters. I got a new hydraulic filter coming, and working on the air filters. Because those weren't great. Definitely want to get them fixed. But We're starting the priming process. We're probably going to prime and paint everything, basically like the hood and the body panels and probably some of the steering. I'll probably want to give that a paint job, and I'm gonna paint everything, nuts, bolts. Nothing's off limits. I don't care about keeping anything separate or whatnot. They'll change color when I change the part, and yeah, we're just gonna try to make this thing look pretty good. One fender, the fender I have on the table is a little nicer looking. I might try to hit this hood again and wipe it down, but we'll go from there. And this hood's a little banged up, but she's gonna get painted in all its glory, and it'll be just how I want it. Not good enough to where I can't go work it or scared to go scratch it, but good enough for people to say, wow, that's not a bad tractor. That's what I'm going for. So I have new lines being made and some quick connects coming. I think maybe next week they'll get put on. So that'll be good. I can run pretty much anything I want. Still trying to figure out what model this tractor actually is. One side of the hood says 46, one side says 41, but this rollover bar says 4 different ones that don't match with anything else. So anyway, unless they put this, I just don't know what's been done. He didn't really seem like he knew a lot about the tractor. So I'm trying to figure that one out. But anyway, pretty much what I had to go off of is the motor number, the tranny number. I mean, you can see all the rear end and all that. Problem is when you look them up, they were used on so many different tractors that it doesn't really narrow it down too much. Internet said there was supposed to be some sort of badge behind the starter here. I haven't found it. Maybe it's like legitimately behind the starter on the motor. I don't know. So maybe one day I'll figure that one out. But for now, not too worried about it. I also need to try to get a one of these fuel filters. All the fuel is good and it runs good, but I mean, there's no reason not to. Plus, the wing nut for the drain is broken, and being the cheap plastic that it is, the other wing's gonna probably break, and I'm gonna be screwed. But anyway, that's where I'm at with this thing. So I should have grabbed a couple more things to degreaser so I can clean up some of my streaks on most of this air pipe. That looks pretty bad, but the motor and stuff will clean up grease wise with some more degreaser, and it's getting there. I just ran out. So anyway, we're gonna start painting some of these body parts. I need to sand basically just where this dash is. I was waiting to see if I can take the steering wheel off, but I don't have a puller, and this one doesn't. I took the nut off, but it really needs that puller, so I might just sand it around it with the flush cutter and the sanding disc, and we'll make do. But anyway, we're gonna paint this thing up. Back with another update. About to head out for work. It's getting to that time of year. Sun hasn't even come up yet. But little update on the tractor. Got a lot of it primed. The old lady went a little hard on the motor and tranny and such, but it'll. Originally, I didn't want that painted just because it was greasy, but she put in the old elbow grease and cleaned her up and gave her some primer, and I think the other side, the transmission's painted, but not the motor. Yeah, because I ran out of degreaser, and this side of the motor is pretty greasy, so I just didn't clean up as well as the other side did. So anyway, next I got to do the little fender brackets and the rollover bar, and then we'll paint her blue. But this was the bad fender. She was pretty, I don't know, bent up in almost every direction. But it's okay, because at the end of the day, it's just a tractor, and it's not like it's just going to sit around. A couple of the other fenders, the hood. And this was just all just brushed on too. These are little, I don't know, the lower gas tank. Of course, these two are flipped around, but little lower gas tank bracket. It kind of goes by the shifter boots. I ordered some parts of this thing yesterday. I'll see when they come in. Pretty much just got shifter boots, Actually, now I'm looking at the seat. I forgot to order a seat, so I'll have to revisit that one. But got shifter boots. I got a dash. Oh, what else did I get? I don't know. A few of the random things that it needed. But yeah. So here's a little update, and then hopefully get this thing going. At least you need to make it so it runs. I gotta put fluids back in it, oil in it, so I can get it to move along. And I think this upcoming weekend's the last weekend I have without any other trucks showing up. We got to finish this one. I got paint coming in for it. I didn't really make a video on it. I tried a new way of putting these panels on, so I'm hoping it works out okay. But I am glad that this battery took. It's never gotten to full, but it's gone pretty close. 14.6, 14.7. It just won't say full on it, but anyway, I got these to break free. I feel like they're supposed to move separately too, but I think they're still stuck together that way. Whenever I try, it just bends this one. This one will just flex, and anyway, not ideal, but I don't know, work on that one a little bit. And we'll get some parts. I gotta go to Napa, get some more hydraulic fluid and some of these filters, hoping they're right. But we'll see. Anyway, check back in. So another little check-in on the tractor. Everything that's going to be painted blue is painted blue on it, except for the clutch pedal. I want to paint that, like the pedal top itself. I painted the rest of it. I don't know why I didn't paint the top. I painted those over there. I don't know. Got distracted, I guess, and when I came back, that's just what it was. Besides that, the only thing we didn't paint was the rear end and then this tranny top. Probably what I'll do when I paint, I gotta paint this and the sticks, and I'm gonna brush on that top, and I'll be happy with that for now. I didn't paint the rear end or the axle or anything because it's pretty wet underneath. I think it's just slowly dripping diesel from everything that's off of it. I didn't realize that would happen, I guess, but it definitely is. The hole underneath is pretty wet. As you can see, that all that dark stuff on the ground, that was all white, and come back and it's a little wet. Next day it's a little wet. Next day it's a little more, and now it's just like that, I guess. So it's dripping out of. I think the step holes that are taken out on this other side. I think they're dripping out of there. So anyway, we didn't paint that. And I ran out of degreaser. I would have degreased the whole thing and then painted it, but I'm running out of time. I need this thing to move so we can get that truck out of here momentarily. Probably tomorrow. I just need to put the little strips back on the doors. That truck's done. I didn't really make a video on the truck. I don't know, distracted by the tractor. And I put in an order with Steiner Tractor. And everything but a seat. I totally forgot about a seat. I don't know how I forgot that, but I got a new dash in the box. Got to put that in. This other fender's still a little tacky, so it's finishing drying. I'll put that on after work probably. The bar's white, and then I got some new orange lights for the fenders too. And I need to find some decals, and got to do that. It looks a little weird. Thought about painting them on, but I'm not that good of a painter, so decals it is. And this side of the engine didn't get painted. I ran out of degreaser, and I couldn't really clean that efficiently. And we also, not that one, but this one, freaking has a thing stuck in it because one of those little wire brushes snapped off and stuck in there. So I broke my last brush on. I don't remember. I just broke it. I don't know where she broke it, but somewhere on here cleaning it up. So between no degreaser, no brush or anything, this side of the motor will not get cleaned up. But Got new filters, new whole system actually for the fuel filter there. I went with a clear bowl just because one, I think it looks cool. Now, being on a tractor, if I hit a branch too hard, I mean, I don't know, it's pretty nice glass, but it could break. But anyway, I think it looks cool. Then you can also see the sediment stuff. I like that. Under here, I got new inner outers. That's just Napa. What's I got? I got new Napa oil filter and Napa hydraulic filter. It's funny. This oil filter is actually the same exact one I put on the 78. I don't know if I mentioned that earlier. Probably gonna hear it twice, but I thought that was interesting. And anyway, we're just kind of waiting things to dry up. Oh, I'll probably try to paint this collar. I don't have a puller, so I couldn't pull the steering wheel. That sucker's on there. And I also have a decal for the transmission. It's gonna live, I think, right here. But I don't know. Pretty excited to see this thing move again. I still need tires. Probably once I get it moved so I can get this thing out here, it'll probably get parked outside, and I'll put it on jack stands in the front at least, and I'll take those wheels off. And then I got these old truck tires, but I don't know if they're hardcore enough. I might get trailers. I don't know. I don't really know yet, but anyway, something's gonna go on there. The big battery is good, and the weights are half painted white. So well, you can see the line, but so got to paint the outsides of the weights tonight, dry them up, put them on tomorrow, and this fender can go on after work because it's just tacky. that one has been painted for another day, so it's good to go. Anyway, we'll check in when I get it put together. I want to show you guys what we did to it. Well, I got a seat on order, a new grill on order, and I forget something else, but the other one's not as important. So here's what we did with it. The battery is good. All I need to do is a charge. I got to put the battery hold down bracket back in there. Besides that, this tray will just unbolt and spin out. It's pretty neat. And we painted it and put new fluids in all around. And so crank right up, and it's pretty, I don't know, I'm pretty impressed with it. For what I have into it, paid $1,000 for this tractor, whatever, a gallon of primer, a gallon of blue paint, and a gallon of white paint, and we are where we're at right here. I have a new fuel pump or filter for it with the glass bottom, but I broke it. Go figure. So, but I want a new filter element for this old one. Put that on there, primed up this pump, and cranked right up. But this side did not get painted. Obviously, it's pretty greasy still, so it's okay. I'm okay with it. I wanted to make it look a little nicer, repair the tin work a little bit, and make it so I can function it and mow the fields and stuff. The weights are inside. I still need to paint half of those. And yeah, so moving around. Put these new lights on there. Need to wire them up. None of these lights were wired. Nothing electrically works. All the plugs are undone. Just kind of, I don't know, like this is some of them here. The other half's just hanging out. I kind of routed it there so it's out of the way. And yeah, so I got those. We got to wire those up. I had new quick connects made, and I have all four of the other side too, the male end of the fitting. So if I get any implements that need them, that have a different style or whatever, they don't work, I got four I can put on there. And then I unlocked these. I kind of loosened it and just filled it with WD-40 until it moved. So now the height adjustments work both up and down. And all that's functioning. I got a bush hog for it. I got to pick up, and then we'll really see how it goes. Same light over here. These are painted. None of these bolts are in. These fenders are just kind of sitting here. We did not paint the rear end at all. It was, when I took this step off, it started leaking diesel and stuff out of these because I filled everything with diesel to try to get some of the old grease and stuff out of there. Because everything was filled with water. So this whole thing was just so wet all the time, and so we didn't paint it. And I ran out of degreaser and all this, that, and the other thing. So all painted, everything's painted but this whole piece pretty much, and that's fine. I should have painted this on the top while I was at it, and I don't know, I painted those feet and not this one. But anyway, funny enough, it takes the same oil filter as my 78 Ford here, at least according to Napa. This is the same filter I pulled off it. It was a little shorter and not a fatter filter, but just slightly shorter. So bigger filter never hurt. I got a new hydraulic filter on here from Napa as well, and I greased up some of these fittings. And yeah, besides that, everything got painted. I need to fill this, or at least top it off with hydraulic fluid. As per someone commented on the old video and said these usually leak, I don't know say how much, but a little bit all the time pretty much is what I got from that. And it looks like when you open it, there's some sort of filter element right here. I don't know if that's replaceable. It seems like it's kind of like a closed unit. I'm sure there's some way to pull everything apart. Maybe this one. So it looks like there's a ring here. Wonder if you pull this, it's all threaded in there. I wonder if this whole thing comes off. I'm not sure. If someone knows out there, I'd love to find out if this is if I can replace this filter or whatnot. And anyway, I got to top that off. And then besides that, everything just kind of works on it. I did figure out what everything was. So there was a lot of safety guys out there in the last video, and obviously, well, those two pedals for the brakes. I didn't realize. I don't know. I'd never seen one necessarily before. I don't really mess with machines or tractors, but it has a neat little pin here. You can lock it all together, and so you have one, or use them separately as a steering assist. I know the left side brake is the only one that'll work with this locking parking brake. You can hold down both and you lock this thing together and the right one comes back. It only hooks up to one of them. So you tie them together if you want both of them to be safety locked, pretty much. Pushing the kill switch. And then I got a new dash, new decal. So I need to make the dash work again. I think I destroyed it actually. And pretty much this little fuel one, I had this thing plugged in. The fuel worked before when you turn the key, and now it doesn't work at all. And I was messing with it and I hit it off this bare metal in here, and I think I might have popped some sort of fuse, if it is fuse related, or I just, you know, destroyed it. But anyway, she'll basically just be there for looks, just to be nice. And this, I need to figure out how. I might need to pull this whole plate off, because it they move together and I can't get them to move separately. And I know, at least per somebody on the internet, one side does the height and one side does like the sensitivity for if you hit a rock or something, she'd bounce up. And I think that's, from what I got from it, mostly important if you're in a plow, if you bound up underground, so it wouldn't destroy stuff. But I also could be wrong. These might have to be tied together for these ones. I don't know. I figured they'd move separately, but they work for the height. And this is PTO, the hydraulics, one side. They flip both ways. I would like to know if someone knows, what does it matter which way you flip it? Does it act differently if you flip it one way, or is like in out, and then does it just invert these? I'm not sure. I'd like to know. There's one lever does one side, one lever does the other side. And this is the PTO box, and then it goes over here. This is the little arm that controls the PTO. That was pretty neat. That thing works good. I think it's a 54 RPM PTO. And then over here, this little pedal in here is your diff locker. And I don't know. I just think it's pretty neat all the way around. But let's see, neutral. Start right up. gotta put the lights back in it, those little open parts. When I wire everything back up, so the weight's on there. Once it gets the new grill and seat, I think it'll look pretty sharp. And new tires, so I've dropped those off the shop this week. Get them tires on. So, anyway, that's my little Ford tractor. And we'll probably have some more coming later about whenever, I don't know, go to mow something, I guess, or whatever other implements I get for it. But, and what last thing I am curious about is these two, I don't know what you call it, some sort of fittings. But basically, they run from there to like here, and it's just the same end. They're just open. They don't look like some sort of cooler went over there. But I don't know what will go on this side. I'm just not sure. I mean, I could speculate and say maybe they ran to some sort of coolant and warmed something up, or if there was some random like AC thing, if this thing had a cab, or I'm just not sure. So if anybody knows what these two lines might have gone to, I'd like to know that. But I think that's gonna be it. So this is the start of the Ford tractor right here, and I don't know. Check back in. We'll I got a little John Deere bush hog for it. I got to pick it up, and I'll end up mowing some stuff. Might try to. Well, you can't see it, but past that old furred is a back shot's pretty tall grass. It never got mowed this year. That's not something on me. I would have mowed it if she wanted me to mow it, but not my building. She had someone else to do it, and it just never happened. So maybe I'll just mow it, and we'll see what happens. I'll bring it back to the house, and we'll mow the field next year. But anyway, thanks for watching, and let me know about some of this stuff. I am curious if, you know, the whole world has a little more knowledge than me. They've probably been around when this thing was new, so I'm just trying to catch up.